that political storm consuming the White House. President Trump is increasingly acting on his own, leaving his staff in the dark about his next move. Case in point, his Friday morning tweet threatening to veto the budget deal his team vowed he'd sign. At midday, the president called a last-minute news conference, which staff called a bill signing, which ended up being neither. Earlier in the week, the president slapped $60 billion in tariffs on Chinese goods, potentially edging the U.S. closer to a trade war. And on Thursday, yet another surprise, a tweet announcing National Security Advisor H.R. McMaster was out, and former UN Ambassador John Bolton would replace him. The announcement came as a shock even to Bolton, who said he was caught off guard during a live interview. The staff shakeup also came just before a primetime interview with Karen McDougal, a former Playboy model who says she had an affair with the president years ago. And tonight, another potentially explosive interview is set to air, this one with adult film actress Stormy Daniels, who says she too had an affair with Trump and was paid to keep quiet about it. So what's at stake for the president? Let's bring in ABC News chief legal analyst Dan Abrams and Chris Ruddy, CEO of Newsmax Media and a personal confidant of the president's, who is also an ABC News contributor. And Chris, I want to start with you. You are a friend of the president. I know you spoke to him yesterday. We've seen so many sudden moves from the president this week with his staff. McMaster out, Bolton in. Should we expect more of this?
The president told me he's perplexed by all of these reports. There's chaos at the White House or mass staff changes. He told me that he thinks the White House is operating like a smooth machine, his words. He did say that he's expecting to make one or two major changes to his government very soon, and that's going to be it. Now, other White House sources, not the president, tell me the Veterans Affairs Secretary David Shulkin is likely to depart the cabinet very soon. But other reports, people like Ben Carson, I'm told that the president is happy with the job he's doing. He will be staying. Chief of Staff Kelly, the president is happy with the job he is doing. He will be staying. So all of these fake news reports saying there's turmoil and chaos, I think the president's made incredible choices with Larry Kudlow, John Bolton. I know he was very ecstatic, very experienced guys in their areas of governance. They're going to do a tremendous job for the president and the country.
Well, Chris, there's certainly been a lot of turnover. If you don't want to call it chaos, you don't have to. But let me go back to John Kelly. What do these changes mean for John Kelly if he stays?
Well, I believe he will be staying, but I think the president was never in politics before. Remember, he was a business guy. He was an entertainer. He came into this job, didn't know anyone in politics, and he's brought in a team that's been very good in many areas. General Mattis, for instance, Mike Pompeo. You know, there's certain people that just didn't work out. Rex Tillerson didn't click with the president. He didn't have the political smarts for someone to run the State Department, never engaged with his own staff at the State Department. So I think the president's making like he's trying to improve the type of people he's bringing in. Kudlow and Bolton, you might disagree with some of their views. They're much stronger personalities as they're coming into the White House. And I think they're going to give a level of stability. And I think they're going to be a great help to General Kelly.
Okay, Chris, I want to turn to the president's mindset about this interview with Stormy Daniels, the interview with Karen McDougal. Did he watch those interviews and tell us what he's thinking?
Well, you know, I can't tell you everything he's thinking. I can only tell you what he told me. He said he thought that much of the Stormy Daniels stuff was a political hoax. Again, those were his words. You know, Martha,
so he thinks they're lying, even though Stormy Daniels got $130,000.
I'll let him characterize. You know, you have to look at this case. You're a straightforward journalist. I really think you're fair-minded. When you watch this interview on CBS 60 Minutes, you're going to be looking for the same question I'm looking for. Are they going to ask her, Stormy, why did you hire a political hit Democratic attorney, Michael Avenatti, who's worked for 150 Democratic political campaigns, Joe Biden's campaign, worked for Rahm Emanuel. Who's operating on funding her tremendous public relations effort? And, you know, at the bottom line is there's never been a claim of harassment. So the president looks at this, and I think he's looking at it like I am looking at it. This is politically motivated to hurt and embarrass him in some way. And you know what? At the end of the day, the poll numbers for the president are up. Gallup has him at a record 40%, the Rasmussen at 48% approval. So I think the American people are really dismissing this as political witch hunts.
Okay, Chris, thanks for that.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.